Alright, so this will be, I think everything should be good. This will be just a little tutorial about how to properly warm up in the good old game of Rocket League. So, I think, obviously everyone warms up in their own way and whatnot, but I think probably the best, I found that this way works for me the best. Like, typically by the end of it, I'm pretty warmed up, pretty fluid in mechanics and everything. Um, so yeah, so the first thing you do, or I would recommend you do, to properly warm up, obviously just hop in free play. But then turn off unlimited boost and use it all up at first. And really just work on, for this first part, so when you first hop on, first thing I recommend you do to warm up is just like work on your boost lanes. So if you don't know what boost lanes are, you can kind of look it up, but it's simply like the boost pads around the field. Like this little boost lane right here, and it's essentially, just like paths that you take to pick up the most amount of boost without having to go to the big pads. Uh, so hopping on and just doing this, first of all, it gets you, I don't know, it just gets me warmed up a little bit, gets me looking for those boost pads. It's like a little refresher each day, so you already know where they are, or if you don't, then I guess this will help you. But like I already know where they are, but it's always good just to, you know, start out like that. And then to make it a little bit more advanced, what I like to do is I like to grab the ball, act like I'm shooting, then rotate out, rotate wide on a boost lane, try to pick up as much boost as possible. Just like to make it a little bit more realistic situation. So like come up here, oh shoot, just say it goes out. How do I get back? This is the quickest way to get back, grabbing the most boost, and there you go. Just gotta be creative with it. Just kind of get your uh, your time's worth. But you can also just kind of reset it and then challenge yourself this way by trying to look for the boost pads while you have ball cam on, because that's kind of a little bit more realistic as to like what you will be doing, mid game. So trying to look for those boost pads, and obviously like when it gets behind you like this, or like the ball cam basically makes it so you're not looking at the boost pads, gets a little challenging, but in a real game that's what would be going on. So it's good to practice that. But once you have that, you do that for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or whatever. Go ahead and go back to the main menu, and if you're on Steam, you can go to the workshop, and just do this training called AIM training. It's by Coco. And what I do is I just go right into survival. Don't mess with anything. You have 3 lives, and if you haven't seen this, or you're not on PC, then essentially you're just trying to hit the ball to the green square, and the squares get progressively smaller and smaller as you move on. So this one, I try to go for a score of 10, so 10 without dying. You have 3 lives, so like right here, that was my last life, and it resets you. So I like to I really have to try and focus to get all 10, like 10 in a row. So if I'm not focused, like kind of like right now, then I'm just like hitting the ball and not really scoring anything. But when I do get focused up, I'm able to get all 10, and by that time I know that I'm a little bit mentally warmed up as well, like being able to control your focus and your attention to a certain task. So it's a good thing for that. Now, if you're on console, you can still do it. A little bit trickier, not as good, but I did make a pack here called AIM Training. There's the code. I might put in the description. I'll try to. And it's essentially basically the same thing, just 10 shots. And you kind of just like want to, work on placing it wherever. I mean, you can obviously go in here and just like shoot it, but try to, pick a spot in the net, just eyeball it, try to hit the ball there, go up to the next one, do whatever, and like this is just like a quick little run through of that. So if you're in console, you can still do it. Like I said, not as good, but still very doable. So the next two, there's only 2 more that I like to do, and again, like you usually only do that if you're on PC. I like to do it until I can get 10 in a row. But if like for the console, I don't know. You just kind of gotta gauge it, I guess. Like I said, it's not as good, but it's better than nothing. But as far as the next one, those two are kind of interchangeable. I kind of have a preference of like wanting to do the last one last, but again, it doesn't really matter. Um, but I go to the ultimate warm up pack. Um, and this first shot here, I just like to get a good touch on it. I don't really care about this first shot. It's kind of hit it hard, doesn't really matter. But the second one here, I like to get up, get a good touch, and I like to go for double touches here. And just, doing the shot over and over, doing like this, right? And, just trying to hit good, consistent double touches. And by the time I get done doing that, like I might start out like this, hitting it but not really making anything. But eventually you'll work your way up to, or at least I do, work my way up to, being able to control my boost, control my car, and then eventually, scoring it. So this probably doesn't work for like everyone, because everyone's at different skill levels. So it really doesn't matter which training pack you do. That's just the one I prefer. I think this shot's good amount of boost control, good amount of car control, lofts it up, pretty easy for you to set up the double touch, and do whatever. But I mean, you can use any pack that you want, any pack that you're comfortable with. So yeah, so I'd just recommend picking a pack that kind of challenges you a little bit, that you can consistently do, that's not too hard. And then by the time you're done doing that, like I said, only 5 to 10 minutes, and then by the time you're done doing that, then you should be warmed up mechanically. And then the last thing I like to do is go into free play, and I like to just hold down boost constantly and try to get consecutive touches like this on the ball. And you do this because it kind of warms you up to, like, by now your mechanics should be decently warm, which is like why I like doing it last. And you're getting your brain into that situation. Like for me, like with the double touches and everything, like I'm working on placing the ball where I want it. And so here I can definitely do that, and I just do it as quick as possible because I'm just holding down boost. And so it makes things harder. But you also like kind of want to try and loft the ball up and make things difficult for yourself, like this, like trying to read this, and just kind of do this for another 5 to 10 minutes. And by the time you're done with that, then you should be good to go and hop in ranked and everything. I like doing this one last because it just kind of lets you open up a little bit, and I don't know, you can still practice your boost lanes and all that and everything else, but I don't know. I just think it's like a good conclusion to your warm-up, and then you just go hop into ranked or do whatever. So, like I said, everything's kind of, preference. You don't have to do any of that. I think that's just overall, it kind of hits all the bases as to like what you need to really warm up, and then by the time you get done doing it, you not only get better mechanically and potentially mentally if you're really focused on like the aim training and whatnot, as far as like thinking through the play and like where you want to hit the ball, but you're also, I don't know, just like everything's good. So that's what works for me. Again, probably no more than 30 minutes to an hour. I'd say hour at the very most. But just try to, especially in this last one, you just got to hold down the boost. Try to go for difficult shots. It doesn't really matter if you hit them or not. You're just kind of you're really just training hitting the ball and trying to time it and everything while going full speed. So that's what this is all about. Because obviously you're not going to be holding down the boost all the time like this in a game. So you're going to be going slower. So if you can practice going as fast as possible, then the slower ones are just going to be easier. So that is that. And I think that will sum that up. So hopefully that helps. And yep.